Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with allthingsbbq.com, and this is honey butter glazed Christmas turkey. That's right, today we're cooking up a holiday bird that is the perfect balance of sweet and savory. Our honey butter glazed Christmas turkey is going to start off with a brine before being injected with that same glaze that it'll be basted with during the cook. And that's going to be a really nice mixture of just butter, honey, and a little bit of that cinnamon and garlic flavor. So sweet and savory all the way around, and then cooked on the grill. And while this bird would be fantastic off of any grill that you cook it on, and maybe just to prove that, today we're actually going to cook this turkey on the gas grill, the Napoleon P500. This is all a fairly simple process that any of us can accomplish. I'm talking to you. So let's jump right in and get started because we have a few steps to get there. First thing we're going to do is prepare the turkey for the brine. And luckily for this cook today, there's really not much to do. We're going to leave this bird whole for the entire cook so that we can serve it like that really beautiful, classic Norman Rockwell turkey, which means that we just have to do a little bit of trimming, like taking off this fat, and if there's anything left of the tail here, we really don't need any of that. And then there's a lot of extra skin up here where the neck was. We're not going to need all that, so we'll trim that down as well. Other than that, I would just look around and see if there's any spots where they missed a feather. But there's nothing much more to do here except get this thing into the brine. We're going to start by putting some water into our briner bucket. I'll start with about a gallon. Today we're using the Butcher House brine by Cattleman's Grill. This is a really kind of standard brine as far as the flavors go. It's got salt, sugar, garlic, onion, a few other little things. And between these 2 pounds of dry brine that we have, we can go up to 2.5 gallons of water, which is plenty enough for this 15-pound bird that we have today. Just gonna give this a good whisk to start to dissolve all that salt in there. And then we'll drop our bird and top it off with some more water. So we wanna make sure that that cavity gets filled with water and that this is fully submerged. And by water, I mean brine. The great thing about this brine is you don't have to heat it up. It'll dissolve on its own. And then you can lock this plate in place to keep it fully submerged while it brines. Now you want to throw it in the fridge, 1 hour per pound. So a 15-pound bird is going to go roughly 15 hours, give or take. You go an hour shorter, long of that, it's not going to hurt anything. This is what the general setup's going to look like. This is our roasting pan where the turkey's actually going to sit on top of some onions and some cider. And then on this side, we'll have our water pan to keep some moisture in the air because gas sucks the moisture out of the air. So we want to add a little extra in there. Now we don't need these in here just yet. I just wanted to show you the setup. So this side where the water pan will be, we're going to put that over high heat. And that's where most of our heat's going to come from. Then down here where the turkey's going to be, we'll turn these all the way down to low. We're going to be roasting at about 400, 425 degrees today. Once you've brined your turkey, you've got a couple of options, but if you've got the time and the space, I highly recommend that you pull that bird out of the brine, you sit it on a wire rack over a sheet pan, and just let it sit in the fridge for a day, just to dry out that skin. It's really gonna help with the texture in the end. But if you're in a pinch for time or space, totally understand, you can cook it that same day, no problem. It's not gonna have quite the same texture, but honestly, most of your guests probably never notice. Now, this is a bird that was brined about 48 hours ago overnight and then sat open for about 24 hours, which brings us to today. And now that skin started to dry out. It's gotten a little bit tacky on the surface, which is what we're looking for. Even though the turkey's been brined already, we can still add extra flavor inside the bird. Now, a lot of that seasoning from the actual brine, it doesn't penetrate all the way to the center. The salt does, and it opens up those proteins so that you can get more juicy turkey out of every bite. But what we also want to do is we want to include that butter and that honey flavor all the way to the center and on the outside. So that's why we're going to start injecting. So we're going to start this off with 1 cup of melted, unsalted butter. Remember, we've got salt already. We don't need any more of that. Then we're going to add to that 1 cup of honey. And seasoning-wise, all we're going to add is a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of roasted garlic base. This is just fortified garlic flavor. I think it's a better than bouillon product. It's just salt and garlic. And I'm just gonna blitz this with the immersion blender to combine everything really thoroughly. You can throw this in a regular blender. You can even whisk the crap out of it by hand if you want. The immersion blender is probably the easiest way to get there. We're gonna load this into the injector now. If it's a little too thick, just throw it in the microwave for 30 seconds and it'll thin out a little bit. We don't have to worry about that being warm because the turkey's cold enough that as soon as this is injected, it's kind of gonna solidify again. So we're gonna start with the breasts. You find your spot, poke around a little bit to create a little pocket, and then pump some of that injection in. Now always start with the breast when we're injecting a turkey because it's the part that needs it the most. It's the part that's most likely to dry out a bit as it cooks, and it's also the biggest hunk of meat on the turkey. So this is the spot where I want most of the flavor in the breast. If we have extra left over, then we move on to the thighs and the legs and so on. Now any of that extra that's come out, we're just going to spread across the bird. It's going to work as a little bit of a binder here for our rub. And for the rub today, we're using the Yoder Smokers chicken rub. And this is basically a barbecue rub, so we're getting mostly salt out of it, just a touch of sweet. And again, we're trying to balance that sweet and salt flavor. I want to pull the skin up on the turkey so we can get some seasoning right there on the breasts. And kind of do the same thing with the thighs and the legs. Don't try and tear the skin, but just pull it back just enough to get a little seasoning underneath it. We can kind of do the same thing from the top. And then we just want to get really like all over the top of this bird because we're going to truss it, and then we can kind of touch everything up with the seasoning as we need to after it's been trussed. Getting every one of those crevices because we're going to close those up once this thing is trussed. And we really don't need to go any further than that for now. Let's go ahead and tie this bird up, and then again, like I said, we'll touch up the seasoning from there. We're going to do this the easiest way possible. So we're going to take one long section of twine that's going to come around this way and another one that's going to come around this way. Package it up just like a Christmas present. So we just want to wrap some of that twine around these legs to hold that together. Come around from the other side, and we'll make one tie here. And then we'll get a second piece of twine it's going to hold the wings in. Kind of press those to the body. And that is the easiest way to truss up your turkey. And from here, we'll just touch up those spots that we messed up. Actually, before I do that, I should get the back side. So I don't care if the back side gets a little messed up. This presentation side, though, we want to keep that looking really pretty and even on the seasoning. We're going to set up the cool side of the grill with our roasting pan. Like I said, we're going to throw a little bed of onions down here. This serves a couple purposes. One's the aromatic, obviously, but also so that this turkey isn't just sitting on the bottom of the pan, getting a hot spot on it. And just touch up that spot where I messed it up. And then we'll add about 2 cups of apple cider to the bottom of this pan. Now this pan's actually going to collect more juices as the turkey cooks, so we probably won't have to replenish that. But this pan over here, on the hot side of the grill, is going to evaporate much quicker, so we'll have to keep an eye on that water level over there to make sure that we're keeping the air nice and moist. We're going to put a meat probe in here from our Fireboard 2. We want to go for the deepest part of the breast. That's kind of our target. And then we've got another one set up for ambient temperature so we can keep an eye on that, trying to keep this in that 400 to 425 range. If you guys want to add a little smoke flavor, here's a fun little trick you can do on your gas grill. Create a little foil tray. I'm just going to put that on the hot side of the grill. Might even just poke a couple little holes in here. And then we'll fill this up with some hickory wood chips. I'm not going to soak them or anything. I don't want acrid, gross smoke. I want some pure, nice dried out wood smoke. And over time, as this gets hot, it'll start to heat up and put off just a little bit of smoke to add some flavor to your turkey. We're about an hour and a half into this cook now. I'm giving the turkey a spin just to keep everything even. We're at about 115 internal, and I feel like now's a good time to start glazing. Just start by pouring some of this over the top, and then we'll just kind of brush it all across the surface here. Now this is one of the reasons why we need some liquid underneath, so that when this stuff drips down, it doesn't just scorch to the grill. It's just gonna join that apple cider and make that taste even better. So from here, we're probably gonna be able to glaze this 3 times total. So I'll wait about 20 to 30 minutes until this glaze is kind of set up, and then we'll come back and do that again. Now we've got these burners off now. I've just been kind of fiddling with this to try to keep it in that 400 to 425 range. These are still on high and putting out enough heat that we didn't need the heat on the other side. So you might have to play around with that a bit just to land right where you want to be. Before we close this up, we'll add a little bit more water to our water pan. You can see that our wood chips have done their job, not adding much more smoke anymore, so you can take that off or leave it on, either way is fine. Our turkey's been on for 3 hours now. It's come up to 155 internal temperature in the deepest part of the breast, and that's where we need to check. From here, that temperature is going to rise about 10 more degrees just as it rests. But while it's resting, I'm going to also just do one more quick brush of the glaze. We'll let that kind of tack up with the residual heat that's coming off the bird. And then here in probably about 30, 45 minutes, we'll be ready to cut this open, and it'll still be plenty hot inside. Well, our turkey's had a good 45 to 60 minutes to rest now. Let's get this twine off of here. It smells so good right now. Picking up on that little bit of cinnamon. But there's also like that garlic popping out, probably from the brine as well as from our rub there. So you've got a couple of options when you go to carve your turkey. Probably like the fanciest way you can do this is to carve this right off the breast. It's definitely not the most effective way to cook or to carve it, but it does look good if you want to carve table side. Just take that wing off and you can start to slice right off the breast there. Oh boy, all the way down there, even in those deepest parts, still seeing the juices flow. Now, a little bit easier way to actually slice this breast is to take the entire breast off the bird. Let's make it a little easier by taking the thigh off here. Boy, talk about juicy. Just gonna go right past that bone, through that joint, and disconnect that whole thigh. Now you see the juices just pouring out of there. To take this breast off, we go right along the breastbone, come down to the rib cage, and carve that off. And now you can actually, slice into this and get every last bit of that meat carved off. My goodness, look at that. That's that honey butter mixed with the juicy turkey. So juicy. And we'll separate the leg from the thigh here. Just make a cut right at that crease. Pop that bone, and it'll show you right where to cut in between in that joint. There you've got your turkey leg, you've got your thigh, and this stuff's just been braising in that cider down there. And this should pull really nicely and just have a wonderful velvety texture to it. So you can kind of get your shredded dark meat out of this portion right here. And let's also not forget that we've got all that juice from the roasting pan, which is now turkey apple cider. Can add a lot of extra flavor and moisture. Not that it needs much more moisture. We get a little bite here. The honey crust. That is so tasty. That honey is kind of caramelized a little bit right there on the surface. It sweetens up a pretty savory flavored bird otherwise. That Yoder chicken rub definitely has a savory thing going on, sort of a honey, maybe even chipotle thing. But that brine, pure savory. I mean, there's a touch of sugar in there, but for the most part, it's salt, garlic, onion, and you're getting all those flavors. Surprisingly, maybe not, I don't know, goes really well with the sweetness of the honey butter. And of course, butter adds that fat. The fat coats your mouth. The flavor moves around with the fat. I'm gonna get some of this dark meat now, which doesn't have any of that honey glaze on it. But I still taste it because of that injection. You can literally taste that honey and that hint of cinnamon. And that cinnamon, I mean, it screams Christmas to me. But it's early enough now that you guys can pull this one off for Thanksgiving if you feel like this is your bird for the year. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out allthingsbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoy the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to allthingsbbq.com/thesauce. All things barbecue, or barbecue legends, are made.